Hey, welcome back to the Black and Gold Standard Podcast. And today I wanted to kind of talk about the decision the Steelers made of not picking up Najee Harris' fifth year option. This is actually a decision that kind of surprised me because I kind of thought this was a no brainer and they would pick that option up. But I guess the Steelers had other things on their mind, and this is really showing. Like I said before, this is a new Pittsburgh Steelers with this front office. Omar Khan is kind of showing that he's he'll make them hard moves. It's not about this guy was a first round pick and we need to do this and do that. No, he's not doing that. This team is trying to win. So even if it's the right decision or wrong decision, the fact that they're not afraid to make these type moves, it shows that the direction that this team is trying to go in, and Omar Khan is really showing that hey, there's nobody safe. If you don't want to act right and not do what you're supposed to do, it doesn't matter if you're a first round pick or whatever, you're going to be out of here. And then on top of that, um, it, you know, he's showing that guys that he didn't draft, he definitely is not having a problem of sending those guys on. So um, I just think with this decision, I think it's some pros and cons for both sides, for the Steelers and for Najee Harris. And I kind of just wanted to touch bases on some of the things that I kind of think that would that may benefit the Steelers and benefit Najee Harris, and also maybe hurt the Steelers a little bit and could actually hurt Najee Harris a little bit. So let's go into the pros that I think these are the things that I kind of think that will benefit the Steelers with this decision. So the first thing is, they won't be obligated to pay that $6.7 million guaranteed, I might say, um, salary in 2025. So after this season, Najee's contract is done. He'll be a free agent, and obviously, if they try to work on a new deal, but they won't have that money that they will have to pay in 2025. Even though it's kind of minimal, but it's still a cap savings. So I think that's one of the pros that they have. Next thing is, you know, maybe the Steelers may think after this season, it's a good thing and a bad thing. Maybe against Najee, he haven't missed a game in 3 years, and say if he don't miss a game in 4 years, they may think that they're being proactive and kind of moving on from a player before he makes that major slide downward. So I guess you could say that's kind of a proactive move, on the Steelers' part. They might look at him as maybe he's going to be a declining player, and they don't want to be stuck paying that guaranteed salary. The next thing would be you're going to get a motivated player. Even though I think Najee is already a motivated player, um, I just think that he's going to have to go out and try to have the best year that he can have. With that being said, and if he does that, obviously it kind of helps Najee, but it also helps the Steelers and the team. So I just think, maybe the Steelers are putting a little carrot out in front of him and see how he responds. So with that said, let's kind of go to these are some of the things, these are the cons, these are some of the things that I think that may work against the Steelers a little bit, but not really that much. And that's if obviously if Najee, go out here and have a monster year, which I mean the Steelers in their moves that they've made and the moves they made in the draft, they're letting everybody know that hey, we want to be bullies out here. We want to run the ball. So obviously this is probably the first year that Najee probably, had is going to have the opportunity to run behind a decent offensive line. So you would expect his numbers to go up, in which if they, if he has a great year, the Steelers is going to be forced to, to pay him, and they may have to pay a little bit more than what that 5th-year option was going to be. Might have to even franchise him, and again, that's if they decided they want to bring him back. So I just think bringing him back is going to be at a premium price. The next thing would be Warren. What happens if Warren really kind of show that he's really not a every down, every play back, and ready to be the bell cow, you could say. I just remember in that Baltimore game. I mean, he almost fumbled that game away. Um, but again, that's just a situation you had to see how that works out, and that could kind of come back and bite the Steelers in the butt a little bit, if Warren turns out that the role that he's playing is kind of his role that he should be in. So we'll just see how that works out. Again, another thing would be if Warren gets hurt. Can't afford for him to get hurt. So that can change a lot of things if he was to get hurt. And then the last thing, I think that and I think this might be one of the most important things. I just think you're losing one of your offensive leaders. I think Najee has been becoming a leader. I know the second year he was a captain. Then last year he wasn't a captain. He kind of lead in kind of his kind of way, but this is a young offense, and unfortunately, we got Russell Wilson this year, but both of your quarterbacks, that's those situations are up in the air. So if you don't have a quarterback, if both of those guys are not here next year, I just feel like you really don't have a offensive leader on that side of the ball. And Najee is probably, with the guys that's there now, he's probably the longest guy with the most tenure on the team, on that side of the ball. So I just think that's going to be a big issue if he does leave. And like I say, if the quarterbacks end up leaving, especially Russell Wilson, you just have no veteran leaders on that side of the ball. So go to some of the pros that I think will help Najee out. And I think the first thing is obvious, for him to have a good year. I was kind of looking at Derrick Henry, and his first 2 years didn't really do much. Then I know his third year, he finally had went over 1,000 yards. But then those 2 years he was in Arthur Smith offense, he went for 1,500. And then the year after that, he went for 2,000. So not saying that Najee's going to put those type numbers up, but I could see him being 1,300, 1,400 yard rusher. And then, that would be a good thing for him. That'll give him some leverage, either dealing with the Steelers and trying to get a new contract, or if he has to go out here and talk to, other teams, you want to have the best year that you can as a free agent, going into your free agent year. And then I think this is something that I thought of, that maybe this decision was a mutual thing with Najee and the Steelers. Najee kind of came out. He's an older player because he stayed in school for 4 years. So as a running back, they really look at your age, and so this will give him an opportunity to be an unrestricted free agent a year early. So he'll be 27 next year. So that should help him out a lot, as far as negotiating with teams for another contract, because if the Steelers would have picked up that 5th-year option, he would have went into his free agent, year being 28. And that's kind of that taboo year for running backs. That's when they kind of start taking that downward projection of their career. So we'll see what happens. So I think those are kind of like the pros of the things that's going to be positive for Harris, and then I think some of the cons for him is just going to be there's no more guaranteed money. This is his last year of any type of guaranteed money, and as you know, most NFL players they want to have that guaranteed money. You want to have some guaranteed money on your contract, and this is it for him. So he don't have that coming. So he has to deal with that, and then obviously he has to stay healthy. Um, can't get hurt. Because he haven't missed a game in 3 years, and he got to kind of had to keep that going because if he gets hurt, and don't have a good year, that's going to hurt his leverage of trying to get another contract. And then the last thing, I guess this is a good and bad thing. You have a big year, and the Steelers decide they want to keep him. They could put the franchise tag on him. So, and the good thing of it is he probably will almost double the amount that he was going to get with the 5th-year option. But a lot of NFL players don't like that franchise tag because it doesn't. It gives you a nice payday, but you don't get that guaranteed money. So I think with that being said, that is pretty much it with this situation. And like I said, we'll just see how things go, and if it's a rift between him and team, we'll kind of see that happening. I know they got OTAs, and I think we got the rookies coming in next week for their mini camp. So we will see. We will see what what's going to happen. So until next week, I'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye bye.